Like most musicians, I actually play guitar first. Well, after piano, I play guitar. From the mandatory module in high school teaching us our first 3 chords, I grew eager to expand my musical palette beyond simply playing piano. As a result, I have and will forever have my favourite acoustic guitar. This is Gear Profile. Hello, I'm Marc Gallagher and welcome to Gear Profile, where I take a look at a piece of gear that I have and love, and I tell its story, why it speaks to me, and of course, give it a little play. Today we're looking at my Simon Patrick S&P 6 Cedar acoustic guitar. I first came across the Simon Patrick brand during a visit to my grandparents in Northern Ireland in 2013. I was about 16 at the time, and during a visit, a very kind friend of theirs called Paul Beckett lent me a guitar to play. Not for gigs or anything, but just for my own recreation. That guitar was a Simon Patrick, I think a Dreadnought, and I knew I wanted one of them. It was a stunning instrument to play, and it was a company that I knew to keep my eye on at the very least. The next notable instance of S&P for me was during a visit to the now defunct R&B Music in Crewe. During this particular visit, I had a play of 4 guitars, 3 Gibsons at £1,250, £1,575 and £1,800, and a Simon Patrick at around £300. After playing all 4 of them, I genuinely preferred the sound of the S&P. It just felt more alive and bright, whereas the Gibson seemed a bit, comparatively at least, dead and dark. I didn't purchase that Simon Patrick guitar, but I knew I wanted one of them. In late 2013, I was in discussions with Barry Maz of Got a Ukulele fame. He mentioned that he had an S&P for sale, and after a few months of saving and I finally started to gig in my hometown, I finally purchased it for £150. It sounded as good as I'd hoped, but it was showing some signs of fair use. I installed a pickup and I started gigging with it, and despite some of the issues that I have with it, this still remains my favourite acoustic guitar. This is a Simon Patrick S&P 6 Cedar, part of their earlier series from the early 2000s. Simon Patrick as a company is part of the Godin network of guitars in Canada. Other brands under this include the likes of Seagull and Art & Luthiery. S&P's brand, they aim sort of around the £300 to £500 price point for solid topped acoustics. This guitar is a Dreadnought shape with a solid cedar top and laminate back and sides. What is that laminate? Cherry, I think. I don't really know or care, to be honest. I've never changed the leather strap that it came with as well. Barry swapped out the original plastic bridge pins for brass ones, which he says gives it extra brightness. It might be worth its own video to see if bridge pins do make a tonal difference. The guitar is a very used one, both before and after I bought it. There are dings on the headstock, the body, and most annoyingly around the neck on the 4th fret, because it's so close to the 5th fret dot, so it can be really confusing when you're playing and trying to find your fret quickly. In terms of pickups, I installed an LR Baggs M1 at my high school with the help of the design technology staff. After being dissatisfied with that sound for years, I finally upgraded to the LR Baggs Anthem system. Despite costing around £350, which is more than double the guitar it went in, it's still the best pickup I've ever heard and played. Since learning a couple of years ago that the guitar has a laminate back and sides, I've had this little niggle in the back of my head. Of the 4 acoustics that I have and love, I realised that none of them are all solid. So I've got this niggle in the back of my head saying that I need an all solid guitar. But do I really care? I'm a Cedar guy. I have it on my guitars, my ukuleles, even my Animal Crossing island. This guitar is bright, it's rich, and it's articulate. Right now the strings are a few months old, so it's dulled a little bit, but the guitar is still really nice to especially play cowboy chords on. That being said, it isn't perfect. The intonation is a little off, especially on the lower strings. Sometimes I have to ditch the clip-on tuner and tune instead by ear so the strings can work with each other a little better, even if that is a compromise to 12-tone equal temperament. Despite the work I've done, I sadly can't change the intonation or action any further. This guitar remains as one that I can only get the best out of in certain situations. And that's a bit of a shame, to be honest. I have a lot of sentimental value with this guitar, having owned it for over 10 years and I've taken it to dozens of gigs, but it can fight me a little bit to play. Plugged in, it's the best sounding guitar I've got, when the intonation works with me. It's like being a parent. Obviously you love your child, even when they go tell you to fuck off. Obviously you don't like being told that, but you have to take it and love them anyway. That's the kind of relationship I have with this guitar. And even if this guitar doesn't love me back, I love this one. Despite its flaws in construction, intonation, feel, and cosmetics, it still remains my favourite acoustic guitar. My name is Marc Gallagher and this has been Gear Profile. Thank you for watching and let me know if you have any thoughts down in the comments. You can also follow me on your favourite social media at Marc Gallagher Music, and consider supporting me on Patreon. For now, I'm Marc Gallagher. Like if you want, share if you feel compelled to, and follow me on places. I'll see you down the road.